guidance of our Honorable Chairman Sir, Dr. Amit Gupta, respected Director Sir, Dr. Anuj Verma, respected HOD Ma'am, Dr. Manjula Shastri, I would like to welcome you all to the second episode of the Jim's Talks, an initiative by Jim Stalks. The key to successful leadership today is influence, not authority. It is the capacity to translate vision into reality. Keeping this in mind, we would like to welcome one such individual here, Mr. Amit Malhotra, sir, our honorable guest speaker for today. He is a leader and a veteran in building industry. He completed his bachelor's from Hansraj College of Commerce and further completed an executive education program on owner-president management from Howard Business School, Boston, Massachusetts. Mr. Amit Malhotra is the founder of McCoyMart, India's first marketplace for construction professionals. He is also the founder of WFM Media, the world's first digital community for facade and fenestration industry. He is also the president of Confederation of Construction Products and Services India, a non-profit organization which is dedicated to the sustainable growth of construction product sector by working collectively with its members and others to improve quality and efficiency in building constructions. Before we begin with the show, I would like to call upon stage our esteemed director, sir, Dr. Anuj Verma, to please come up here, welcome our guest speaker with a green initiative and speak a few words of wisdom for all of us. Please give a huge round of applause, everyone.
Louder, yaar.
So good afternoon, all of you. So I, on behalf of the Jim's fraternity, welcome Amit ji for this wonderful talk on a shiny afternoon. I don't know much about Amit ji's background, but then the vibrancy with which he came on the stage and I just sat with him for just 2 minutes in the auditorium. I think this session is going to be very, very vibrant and great learning experience for all of you. So I think without taking much time of yours and standing in between you and the speaker, I would again welcome once again Mr. Amit for accepting the invitation and being the speaker for Jim's talk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your kind words.
Before he starts on, did you all watch the match last night?
Yes, sir.
Raise your hands if you did. So almost all of you did. So I'm going to ask this one question. Sorry, Deepak, I want to intervene for a second. So, 2 people can raise your hand, then in like less than 1 minute, give me a summary if you learned anything from yesterday's match. You can raise, anybody can raise hands, I'll pick 2 people. Don't be shy, come on. What did you learn from yesterday's match? Should I pick myself, Deepak, or? Okay, I only have 2 hands. So we'll go with you at the back first. Your name?
Akshay.
Yeah, tell me, what did you learn? Be brief.
The learning was that we should never ever give up, whatever the situation might be.
Perfect. What about you?
It's the same, never give up and fight till the last moment.
Anybody, I give a third opportunity. Anybody else wants to add something to this? Okay, so you've been hearing a lot about entrepreneurship and blah 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 and all these last years, and it's a journey. So it took Messi so many years to get there. Unfortunately, he didn't get the boot. That's the only thing that I think he must be suffering about. But other than that, this whole World Cup, from the first game that they lost, and they went on, and this match 2-0, 74 minutes. Everybody thought, chalo, band karo TV, it's done. And then 2 goals scored, then extra time, 1-1 goal, and then the final penalty. So leadership, business, entrepreneurship is a long journey. You guys are on your 18 to 20s, I presume, I guess, except of course, Anuj. Therefore, please don't think that if you enter into an entrepreneurial journey or a leader, actually business is the naya fancy word, entrepreneurship हो गया. But having said that, आज आपकी शुरुआत है. So आप आसपास जो देखते हैं, don't get too enamored by it because आपको अपनी रगड़नी पड़ेगी. You have to work for the next 10-15 years of your life to actually make your break, and your break will come after experience, and nothing comes before that. So Deepak, please, sorry.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I would like to again thank you for accepting the invitation.
Let's go on with stuff. Don't thank me enough. Thank you later.
For sure, sir.
Can I have my coffee?
Yeah, so you can have that. You can
Thank
have
you.
that.
Sure.
So, before we talk about your professional life, your ventures, McCoyMart, Development Media, I'm very excited to know about your college life. Like you went to the Hansraj College.
I bunked all my life.
So, like,
I'm not very proud of it. I'm not very proud of it. When I look back, I am very proud now. No offense, sir.
so just we want to know your experience there.
I'll only have one story to share. First year we got ragged. Up to आपके time पे ragging is kind of illegal, I believe. But we were ragged like bad. मेरी बेल्ट निकाल के मुझे कूलर के साथ बांधा गया था कुत्ते की तरह. I had to do woof 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 for like 3 hours. And I remember first year we got ragged a lot. So second year I said हमारी बारी है. अब हम भी rag करेंगे. So we started ragging, not in the same way the first year we had got ragged. And then one tall jati gentleman, jat banda, he comes to me, sir, hey bhai, क्या करने लग रहे तू? I'm like, क्या हुआ, तू कौन है? तो बोला मेरा नाम है खजान सिंह टोकस. I hope he's still alive and well. I don't know ABVP क्या होता है. तो कह रहा रैगिंग ना करे तू. I said हम तो करेंगे, जो करना है कर ले. So one of my friends came कि तू क्या कर लेगा? उसने उसको जोर से थप्पड़ मार दिया. Hansraj College, second day of ragging. I said this is not fair, this is not correct. इसने थप्पड़ कैसे मार दिया? I created a little movement कि चलो हम प्रिंसिपल के पास चलते हैं, कंप्लेंट करते हैं. तो everybody like yes we'll go. हम चिल्लाते पीछे देखा नहीं ध्यान से. तो पीछे उस समय 50-60 लोग थे. जब प्रिंसिपल के ऑफिस के पहुंचे तो मैं और जिसने थप्पड़ खाया था वो. पीछे मुझे साला कोई और था नहीं वहाँ पे. Then the police came. Anyways, to cut the long story short, अगले दिन अखबार में नाम आया था कि रैगिंग के लिए बच्चे पकड़े गए और ये हुआ. But that Tokus in front of the principal said, अगर तूने मेरा नाम दिया तो कल में तू फिनिश हो जाएगा. और प्रिंसिपल इज सेइंग तुम बुज़दिल हो, तुम बोलो. हम एक तरफ वो Tokus साहब को देख रहे हैं कि वो हमें काट देंगे और प्रिंसिपल बोल रहा है कि तुम बुज़दिल हो. So my friend stubbed my feet and said कि भाई अभी जिंदा रहना है तो जरा. So we had to step out. Then the principal came. He said तुम एक हफ्ते के लिए कॉलेज मत आना क्योंकि कल को ये फिर से आ सकते हैं. द लेसन ऑफ लर्निंग कि जब आप मूवमेंट लेके जा रहे हो तो पीछे ध्यान से लोगों को पकड़ के रखो क्योंकि कट लेते हैं. 98% शुरू में गरज बड़ा होता है, उसके बाद लोग कट लेते हैं. सेम थिंग अप्लाइज इन अ कंपनी. इफ यू रन टू फास्ट, पीपल बिहाइंड यू कांट फॉलो यू, देन यू आर जस्ट रनिंग बाय योरसेल्फ. बट लाइक दिस वी हैड प्लेंटी ऑफ experiences. Bunking was great experience, but I started to work when I was 18, just in first year. So I used to find, after college I used to go, my dad was there, he was alone. So I started to work with him, and so it's been 30 years now, it's been a long time.
That was actually a great experience. So you also went to Harvard Business School.
So that was recently, yes.
Yeah, so how did it help you to build your startup?
Oh. It has nothing to do with building my startup. It was a learning experience because I also wanted to do an MBA, graduate, and actually go to college experience. So I got a chance. So I went to study, and we got PhD in alcohol, drinking every day. Other than that, I think I had a lot of learning and networking with people from about 50 countries from around the world. So in short, it was just a validation कि जो भी किया इतने सालों में, Was that the right thing to do, not the right thing to do? So learning a lot of case studies. And I think education is, I mean, you guys are in college right now, you don't think too much about your own studies. But I think today when I look back, and I see that the most important thing that you're doing today is educating yourself. Whether it's with your college, it's learning from your friends. Don't underestimate your education. Because kal ko yahi kaam aane wala hai. It's not just the degree that you get here or whatever. But my suggestion to all of you is continue to read. I was bad. I never read books for the longest time. But one day aisa attack hua that I started reading, and I read like, maybe in the last 6 months I've read 500 books, I would say. Just keep reading. Because आप learn और कहीं से नहीं कर सकते. You have to keep reading, educating yourself and be abreast. And Google is not the bloody one to give you all gyan. There are books which give you gyan. So don't look at Google for everything. The real books are written. And whatever you study here and whenever you start working, when you do, continue to keep reading. It's a habit, I think, as one thing that I should tell you guys. Form some, okay, besides your drinking and vaping and all the other stuff that you guys do also take up some good habits. Reading is one of them. Sir, would you agree with me? I still do.
So, as you mentioned that you started working when you were like 18.
Yes.
So, as a teenager, how was your transition, like from being a college student at Delhi University to taking a first step towards creating a successful business empire, I would say?
Actually, you never think of it like that. You never, when you are at this age, you never think what you're going to be creating. तो ऐसा कोई विजन नहीं होता बकवास. It's an evolution. आप कुछ शुरू करोगे. फिर I started my life as a contractor. I was a waterproofing contractor. I used to work with companies like DLF and all the big developers which are there in the city right now all over the country. So one thing led to the other. फिर कुछ experience हुआ. फिर एक बार एक incident हुआ labor के साथ, जब मुझे realize किया कि labor को कभी गाली नहीं देनी चाहिए और मैंने नहीं पता था, गाली दे दी. I almost was killed. लट लेके मेरे ऊपर चढ़ गए just because small incident. I had to pay I don't know what money to 50-100 guys. मेरा last में 2000 रुपए short पड़ गए. So the guy used to work every day with me. So I said बेटा मैं तेरे को कल सुबह आके दे दूँगा. उसने कहा नहीं साहब पैसे तो आपको आज ही देने पड़ेंगे. So I abused him in Hindi and I said whatever and I said कल दे दूँगा. तो जैसी गाली दी तो वो सारे पागल हो गए. मार दो, काट दो, खत्म कर दो. मैंने कहा भाई ऐसा क्या कर दिया मैंने? And then I realized, respect. When you have people working in your house, you have servants, domestic help, drivers, and these guys, like all of us, have also a lot of self-respect. I think they have more self-esteem than you can imagine. They have more ego than you can imagine. They come from villages or wherever they are. और जो भी इनको पैसे मिलते हैं, that's one part. But other than that, they're only seeking empathy and respect. It's like you go to a restaurant and you see rude guys saying, "Hey, इधर से आए, इधर लेके आ." I look down upon such people honestly, because अगर आपके अंदर दिल में empathy नहीं है किसी और के लिए, तो आपको कोई ना कंपनी में नौकरी देने का लंबा, ना आप किसी को बना के अपनी लीडरशिप टीम बना के ले जा सकते हो. And Corona was a testing time for all companies like us. We have more than 500 people across different groups. And the only thing which kept us alive was because we were good to our people. And I think, okay, business, entrepreneurship, leadership, all that will come with time. But सबसे important is like you make that symbol with your heart. Like all the goals were scored and yesterday everybody was making that love sign. That starts from you. And you have to have that feeling from your heart. If you're working, especially for your professors, for your faculty, वो आपको पढ़ाने आते हैं. It's a noble profession, sir. I respect your profession a lot. I'm also an assistant teacher at HBS now. I will be joining next year. And I realized that coaching में thankless profession है. Students में से क्या बकवास क्लास थी यार. अगले का भी दिन बुरा जा सकता है ना यार. So I think nothing is pre-planned, okay? Only thing you guys should do is जो आप काम, अनफॉर्चुनेटली आप लोगों की जिंदगी में एक घटिया इंसान आ गया, मोबाइल फोन, और उसके साथ में सोशल मीडिया. उसने आपकी जिंदगी को बर्बाद कर दिया है. उसकी वजह से आप इतने डिस्ट्रैक्टेड रहते हो, यू आर अनेबल टू फोकस. सो माई ओनली रिक्वेस्ट टू यू गाइस, एंड इट्स अ रूल इन माई कंपनीज, व्हेन वी हैव मीटिंग्स द मोबाइल फोन्स आर केप्ट इनसाइड अ बॉक्स आउटसाइड द कॉन्फ्रेंस रूम, so that at least जो आधा घंटा 10 मिनट whatever we spend time talking to each other, it's focused. Maybe I don't know if you can set that as a rule to keep the phones out. it worked for us. And it was quite challenged. Okay, this is not right. Couple of people quit. I said, okay. Out of hundreds, couple of people quit, it's okay. It's not a bad number. But just when you study na, focus. Just listen. Let's say somewhat you don't understand, ask questions. Because if you don't ask questions, then जो दिमाग में चल रहा है ना, दही बन रहा है, वो फिर खट्टा हो जाएगा. फिर उसका फिर कोई फायदा नहीं होगा.
That was indeed a great advice.
ऐसे फालतू की टप advice to Go on.
So please let our audience know about the startups like WFM and McCoyMart.
No, so there is no sequence. I started with contracting. I had these amazing experiences with labor, and I said this is not it for me. I'm more a sales guy. Then I got an opportunity to work with a German multinational, and I learned something very interesting. Of course, in today's age, is simpler to understand. But I used to work with a German company where the headquarters was based in Berlin. The factories were based in Munich, the administration offices were based somewhere else. This is way back in 2000. So we would place orders and somebody else was shipping, somebody else was invoicing, somebody else was producing. I used to wonder how can all of this happen. So thanks to things like SAP or ERPs, management systems, and I came back and I said, we can do this too. So they invested a lot of money in building infrastructure. We had the first server rooms in 2005-06 to aaj aapke yahan pe hain. So everything started learning from building industry. I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I built multiple businesses, but just came one after the other. ऐसा नहीं है कि something ऐसे ही करके idea आ गया. You have to have expertise. You have to focus on some area of expertise. जैसे आपको पता है ना, कोई sales का focus करता है, कोई finance का focus करता है, कोई marketing का focus करता है. If you like it, pick it up. And like Steve Jobs says, and I think all of you, have anybody read books of Steve Jobs? Apple? Nobody? Everybody heard of Steve Jobs? Yes. Is he still alive? No. Somebody said yes. No, but never mind, it's okay. And I think his word is very, very valuable today. He just says, love what you do. And if you don't do it. Because अगर दिल से नहीं आएगा, क्योंकि हमारा दिमाग एक बहुत बड़ा चू है, वो सबका बेवकूफ बनाता है, अपना सबसे ज्यादा बनाता है. फिर कहते हैं कि दिल की मत सुनो, क्योंकि वो इमोशनल है और हम लोग सब इंडियन इमोशनल है, ऑल द वर्ल्ड इज इमोशनल. बट आपको टाइम लगेगा अभी. इफ यू थिंक यू डोंट हैव एन आंसर फॉर समथिंग, डोंट थिंक ए शट अप मैन. If you think that you don't have an answer for something right now, ask someone who you like, look after or mentor. और अगर नहीं आंसर आता तो just leave it. It doesn't matter. हर चीज का आंसर आपको अभी इस उम्र में नहीं मिलेगा. You have to go with time. And some things you can read about, some things you can ask. So do you like question open for anyone of you? Do you talk to your parents when you have a problem with something? How many of you do that? Come on, be bold. You can raise your hands. And the ones who haven't raised their hands, why don't you do it? So this guy in the red hoodie, tell me.
I feel insecure about it.
You feel insecure talking to your parents? Do you think they won't understand you?
No, they might judge me.
No. Why would they be insecure? You're insecure, they're insecure. And don't feel bad, it's okay. Nobody will remember anything. One thing that you must always remember, my dad passed away 6 years ago. I miss him much more now than I ever did when he was alive. That our parents have the greatest wisdom. They might not be super successful or super wealthy or not, it doesn't matter. But जो experience है ना, वो time के साथ साथ ही आपको मिलेगा. और जो उन्होंने gain किया है, उनका बड़ा simple सा answer होगा, छोटी छोटी चीज़ों में. या बोलेंगे बेटा honest रहो, transparent रहो, sincere रहो, hard work करो, मेहनत करो. यही फंडा है लाइफ के, और कोई बाकी सब बकचोदी है. Sincerity, honesty, and being straightforward is important. And if you can build a relationship with your parents and even think that they won't understand, try. There's nothing you lose. Because that's all you have. Your friends will also give you 80-90% bakchodi, right? Because they also don't know. So when you're talking to somebody who also doesn't know, what will he tell you? He'll probably Google it and check and come back to you, right? So I'm not saying that your friends are bad, but experience kitna hai? You've just got 1 year of college experience and some of you just started your life, you're just out of school. So just keep seeking when I won't say I was a kid, but I was younger. I met an uncle. One of my sister's friends' family had gone for a dinner. I was probably 17 or 18, and he said, "बेटा जितने भी mentor बना सकते हो लाइफ में बनाना." उस समय तो समझ में नहीं आया. I asked him, "Uncle, what do you mean?" He said, "जितने भी लोगों से कुछ भी सीख सको, वो तुम्हारी जिंदगी में मेंटोर है. ऑटो रिक्शा ड्राइवर, बाहर जो आपके यहाँ चाय पिलाता है, कभी बैठ के उससे बात करिए, वो आपको अपने गाँव की स्टोरी सुनाएगा. सुनिए, बिकॉज हर चीज में कुछ ना कुछ विजडम है. क्योंकि सब लोग यहाँ बैठे कुछ चमन नहीं है, कुछ तो जानते हैं, चाहे वो कोई भी हो. एक बड़ी अच्छी बुक आई थी रिसेंटली अबाउट स्मॉल मीडियम कंपनीज और एमएसएमई. तो सारा चाय वाला भी है, वो भी तो एक एंटरप्रेन्योर ही है. वो रोज खरीदता है, चाय खरीदता है, सिगरेट खरीदता है, बीड़ी खरीदता है, वगैरह वगैरह, फैन खरीदता है, बिस्किट खरीदता है, मैगी बना के देता है. तो कहने को तो वो भी एंटरप्रेन्योर ही है. वर्ड एंड नैरेटिव, दैट्स ओके. एवरीबडी इज अ बिजनेसमैन एट हार्ट. सब्जी वाले से भी नेगोशिएट करते हो. सरोजनी नगर कौन जाता है कपड़े खरीदने आप में से? तो आप क्या मिलता है? नेगोशिएट करते हो ना, भैया नहीं भैया भाया भाया थोड़ा कम कर दो भाया. आप क्यों करते हो? यू वांट टू डू दिस बिकॉज यू थिंक यू वांट टू विन. और वो दुकानदार भी जीतना चाहता है. तो मेरा एक इसमें लॉजिक है, आई कॉल इट लूज टू विन. लोग बोलते हैं विन विन सिचुएशन, कोई विन विन सिचुएशन नहीं होती. तो you want to win, you want to buy something for $500 for let's say $200, and then you say नहीं ये तो 150 का मिल रहा है. बाजू वाले को भी पता है कि 150 का नहीं मिल रहा, मगर वो भी आपको बोलते हैं नहीं मैडम, नहीं दीदी, नहीं भैया. प्यार से बात करता है. और कुछ एरोगेंट शॉपकीपर्स भी होते हैं, वो बोलते हैं लेना है लो, नहीं लेना ते लेने जाओ. ऐसे नहीं बोलते ते लेने जाओ. बट तो एवरीथिंग इन लाइफ इज अ सिचुएशन, राइट? But if you only think you want to win and you want to make the other person lose, and that doesn't work in the long term. तो दोनों की जीत में ही आपकी जीत है. That's what I've learned. I've handled situations where I worked with multinationals, negotiated large ventures. और वो unfortunately कोई गोरा तो नहीं है यहाँ पे, हाँ. But वो गोरों की फीलिंग है अभी भी ना, एक imperialistic thought process है, वो जो ब्रिटिशर्स छोड़ के गए हैं. They still think they are very supreme. In many ways they are. ऐसा नहीं बोलना चाहिए कि they're not. बट उनका माइंडसेट है कि वी आर अ थर्ड ग्रेट कंट्री और थर्ड क्या बोलते हैं ग्रोइंग इकोनॉमी. बट वी आर स्मार्ट पीपल. आई एम नॉट सेइंग यू आर स्मार्ट, आई एम सेइंग दे आर स्मार्ट पीपल. बट आई एम सेइंग वी आर ऑल स्मार्ट. इट्स हाउ यू यूज योर इंटेलिजेंस. और उसके ऊपर कोई किताब नहीं लिखी. बट जस्ट बी ऑनेस्ट फर्स्ट टू योर सेल्फ कि आपकी अपनी औकात क्या है. एक आपने सुना होगा शायद, एक बड़ा अच्छा एक मैंने जनपद से खरीदने लिखा था, नमक स्वाद अनुसार, अकड़ औकात अनुसार. तो पहले आपको अपनी औकात पता होनी चाहिए कि आपकी औकात इज एसेंशियली कैपेबिलिटी, एबिलिटी, व्हाटएवर. इफ यू नो, और उसमें सबमिट करना कि आप नहीं सही हो. जैसे आप लोग बहुत आर्ग्यूमेंट करते होगे जैसे दीपक के साथ, ही वांट्स टू बी राइट, so he'll keep pushing that I am right, and he has to know whether he is right or wrong. तो submit करना कि you are wrong, it's okay. Saying sorry, it's okay, and saying no is the biggest okay. Because yes तो सब बोल देते हैं. When your sir says कि ये program assignment कल तक कर देना, तो सब yes sir तो बोल देते हैं बिना सोचे, but अगले दिन आधे तो गायब हो जाते हैं और आधे करते नहीं हैं. तो रियलिटी है कि वो एक दिन में पॉसिबल शायद नहीं है. If you're in sales, one of the first things I learned was to be able to say no, because उससे क्या होता है, दुकान बंद हो जाती है. Then at least you've answered the question. But other than that, life के फंडे बड़े सिंपल हैं, कोई complexity नहीं है. Business is very simple. Being honest is the simplest thing. But सब लोग झूठ क्यों बोलते हैं? किनको झूठ बोलने की खास आदत है? शर्म आओ मत, come on यार, है तो क्यों अच्छा लगता है उस समय के लिए ना. बट फिर इसके ना लॉन्ग टर्म वो बोलते हैं ना कर्म, जो आज कर्म करोगे वो आपको इसी जिंदगी में आप उसको उसका रिजल्ट मिलके जाएगा. तो बेटर देन नॉट लाइंग इज नॉट स्पीकिंग. इट्स ओके. तेरे क्वेश्चन ठीक चल रहे हैं? यू लॉस्ट योर ट्रैक.
Yes, sir. So your father seems like he had a great impression on your life, both personally and professionally. So what's the biggest lesson you learned from him at very early stages that you think we can also learn from?
So I think the one greatest thing that my dad did for me, he never told me what to do and what not to do. That's if I would like to concise it in a simple format. And whatever businesses I started, wherever I went in the world, I must have traveled over 55 countries by now. He never asked me where I was going, what I was doing. He just trusted me. And that was him for me. Never questioned me whether I spent whatever money in building or hiring people. I remember a time in 99 or something, I hired a general manager. My company was all about 5 people and I paid that guy 20,000 bucks. So imagine at that time 20,000 bucks would be like 5 lakhs of today. And he said, "Are you serious, man?" I was like, "Yeah." So this guy's come from Pidlite, which is Fevicol companies, got a lot of experience. We need to grow. He said, "Hamari net salary 17,000 rupees and you're paying 18,000 to one guy." So I said, "Trust me, if it works, it'll be good for us." And I think that's the greatest thing that he did, God bless. He did for me, never questioned me. And I think that was my luck, that he never questioned me. A lot of parents I've seen a lot, I met a lot of, I won't say kid, but I met a lot of family, second generations, where the biggest problem is trust between the parents or the father or the mother and their children. कि इसको तो पता नहीं है ये क्या कर लेगा. But that I think I can't influence. It's a thing between your parents and yourself. But I think trust आपको खुद अपने parents के साथ generate करनी पड़ेगी. और अगर झूठ बोल के भाई साहब भागते रहोगे तो trust नहीं बनेगी. To add this, I think I remember one more thing that I can share. As a businessman, I call it the 3T. T as in Tata Funda. So first, you have to tell the truth. What's your name? Sparsh. So first is, ये सबको इंग्लिश आती है ना इधर में? मैं पंजाबी में बात भी कर सकता हूँ, बंगाली में भी करता हूँ, जाटी में कर सकता हूँ. I would prefer जाटी. जाटी समझ आती लोगों को? हैं? नहीं? So first is tell the truth. Let's say even as you know, as your friends and students together, you tell the truth and you set the base. Tell the truth. From that truth, you'll create a layer called transparency. Everybody will believe in you. And from that layer, you'll build trust. It's like yesterday's game, one of the most miraculous things. So Lionel Messi left his country when he was 14 years of age. And he moved to Barcelona. He's 34 now. So technically he never really lived in Argentina. But he promised himself that, I am first an Argentinian and then FC Barcelona and now Paris Saint-Germain. And he promised his team 8 years ago that, we will make this comeback. And besides his club playing, he would keep going back and forth to his team and said that we need to practice, we need to work together as a team. They went out for trips together. But he built that faith, that truth, and then the trust. Like the way they played yesterday, it was fucking phenomenal. Argentina has never played this good in their whole life. So what was great was that they depended on their leader, who built that trust with them. कि भाई लोग छा जाएंगे. If you saw the match के बाद, Messi went and hugged, I don't know, millions of his coaches, to managers, to staff, and maybe go back and see the match again, post-match, he was hugging everybody. That's great leadership. And his facial expression was so calm, and he was smiling, he wasn't jumping, and he was not saying, we fucked the world, dude, no. He was cool, and he was calm. And that's where, all of you guys will come with time, anger आता है, गुस्सा आता है, झूठ बोल के निकल जाते हैं. Don't get me wrong, I'm just taking this as an example. But it's okay, I also did that. Everybody does that. There are no rules for today. But just be honest and be truthful. It's tough. It's tough to be positive. It's tough to be honest. It's tough to be truthful because you might think others will say, मुझे पता ही नहीं इसका answer, so what will you think? And don't care a fuck about anybody thinks about you. Be yourself. It is also very tough to just be yourself. Honestly speaking, nobody cares about anybody. Probably you and your parents, end of story. I won't say anything else matters except you and your family. Nothing else matters. But again, truth, trust, transparency. That's it. I call it the 3T. If you want to remember it, remember it.
Great, sir. Sir, again, most people have a conception that raising money is the new standard for success. So, what are your views on that, and how did you manage your funds?
Self. Earned it, spent it. I never raised any money all my life. I think this today's startup, so इसका फंडा बड़ा सिंपल है कि there is a lot of money being made in Europe and America, billions and billions of dollars. So all these companies, the largest companies, they generate a lot of profit, and they want to generate more profit, which is the way business is for profit. So इसमें कोई बेवकूफ़ी नहीं है. So what they do, they have invented this system of private equity, and they spend in countries like India. They did it in China and all the developing countries. कि वहाँ पे जो आइडिया लोग लेके आ रहे हैं, हम उसमें पैसे इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, तो वो पैसा आता रहेगा. और भी India is probably, you guys should consider yourself very lucky that you're Indian. I am very proud to be Indian. And this is the best 10 years India will see from a growth perspective. So whether you start your business or you work for a company, it's as good. So don't think that अगर आपने अपना business शुरू किया तो that's a bad thing. No, you just have to know that it's the सबसे blossoming period for the Indian industry, for India as an economy. So you have to study hard, I must tell you that, to pick up good jobs. First 5-10 years you should work somewhere. You should learn, gain experience. So coming to his question, like yesterday's match, if you thought the first goal which was scored by Argentina, that's when people raise money. And they think, फतेह हो गई, गेम जीत ली, घंटा. फिर दूसरा गोल लिया तो उधर सेकंड राउंड रेस कर लिया, मतलब और भी बेटर हो. दूसरे ओपोनेंट ने गोल स्कोर किया, दैट मीन्स कंपटीशन आ गया. फिर एक और गोल स्कोर किया, फिर एक और कंपटीशन आ गया. फिर आप पेनल्टीज में चले गए, विच बेसिकली इज अनसर्टेनिटी. यू डोंट नो कि कल मार्केट कंडीशंस में क्या होगा. सो पेटीएम वाज द इन्वेंटर ऑफ आवर पेमेंट गेटवे. आई डोंट इवन नो हाउ मेनी गूगल पे, एप्पल पे, कैश पे, तेरा पे, मेरा पे, सबका पे है, राइट? कैन यू इवन इमेजिन हाउ ऑल ऑफ देम कैन सर्वाइव? हाउ मेनी ऑफ यूज पेटीएम? Right? How many use Google Pay? And then there's cash free and God knows that in the US, Apple Pay. Right? And in every business on this digital exchange, there will only be 1 or 2 businesses which will survive. In every. So I don't think raising money is any rationale for success. Building a good business is a rationale for success, and it takes time. I've been saying this for the longest time. To build a successful, profitable, and sustainable. You understand sustainable, guys? Yes? What is sustainability? Every year you grow, you make profit. Okay, making profit for 1 year is not a sign of your business or your life. It's like your first year result was great, let's say 90%. And second year you screwed up 55%. So sustainability is not there. Then you find the cause and effect कि क्या हुआ. बॉयफ्रेंड हो गया, गर्लफ्रेंड हो गया, ब्रेकअप हो गया. 90% आपके साथ यही होगा. इन्हीं वजह से आपका वो फोकस थोड़ा डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है. तो उसकी वजह से यानी से नहीं यार, दिस इज नॉट वर्थ इट, लेट मी स्पेंड माई थर्ड ईयर एटलीस्ट टू गेट, बिकॉज फर्स्ट सेकेंड ईयर डजंट मैटर. योर थर्ड ईयर इज योर व्हेन यू गेट योर डिग्री, राइट? एंड दैट्स व्हेन द फाइनल. I got 44%, I'm proudly saying third year. That too with great difficulty. Economics honors. But that honestly doesn't matter. I think experience thereafter matters. So you have to focus on your, और ये मेहनत का काम है. पढ़ाई करना, कहीं जगह नौकरी करना, वहाँ पे हर साल ग्रो करना. यू कैन से वो भाई साहब ग्रो कर रहे हैं, ज़्यादा मेहनत कर रहा होगा भाई, या मेहनत कर रही होगी. फ्री में तो कोई, आज की डेट में हर कंपनी छोटी हो बड़ी हो, वहाँ पे बहुत परफॉर्मेंस मेजरमेंट सिस्टम है. आपके यहाँ कॉलेज में भी हैं, हमारे टाइम पे नहीं थे. आपकी असेसमेंट होती है, रिव्यूज होते हैं. सो व्हाट आर दे ट्राइंग टू डू? तो सस्टेनेबिलिटी इज क्रिटिकल. तो 1 साल की सक्सेस पे मत जाना, घंटा है वो, कोई फर्क ना पड़े उससे. इट हैज टू बी लॉन्ग टर्म. और उसके लिए एक माइंडसेट जरूरी है कि ग्रो करना है तो करना है. हाँ, अगर मिल रहे हैं पैसे फ्री के तो उसको उड़ाने के लिए भी बड़ी दिमाग लगाना पड़ता है. जस्ट ब्लोइंग. और एक चीज और, आई थिंक यू गाइस शुड नो दिस मोर इम्पोर्टेंटली टुडे, कि अगर आप पैसे की इज्जत नहीं करोगे ना, आपको भी पैसे इज्जत नहीं देगा. और सिमिलरली जैसे आप आपस में लोग छोटे लोग बड़े लोग रिस्पेक्टिव, आप इज्जत नहीं करोगे तो आपको भी नहीं मिलेगी। तो अगर आपको सोचोगे कि मेरी इज्जत क्यों नहीं करता, तो ये तो पुरानी बात है। इज्जत कमाने के लिए होती है, पैसे भी कमाने के लिए होते हैं, और आप उसकी इज्जत नहीं करोगे तो आपको भाई साहब उसकी इज्जत नहीं मिलेगी। इट्स ऑल अबाउट गिविंग एंड टेकिंग। जैसा दोगे वैसा मिलेगा। और आप सोचोगे उसको तो ज़्यादा मिलता है, इसको तो कम मिलता है, उसके एफर्ट्स पे डिपेंड करता है। तो जो ऑनेस्ट लोग हैं ना, वो चुप रहते हैं, अपना काम करते हैं। आपको लगता है वो भूलने हैं, बट वो थोड़े वाइज, कुछ लोग थोड़ी जल्दी वाइज हो जाते हैं। घर में एक्सपीरियंसेस होंगे, फादर मदर ब्रदर सिस्टर फैमिली, बट जितना आप मैं पहले होता था कि आई यूज्ड टू ऑलवेज वांट टू बी अ गाय टू मेक अ पॉइंट, एंड आई रियलाइज कि आई एम बीइंग स्टूपिड, व्हाई एम आई डूइंग दिस, व्हाट एम आई ट्राइंग टू अचीव। जो मुझे पता है, मुझे किसी को बताने की कोई जरूरत नहीं। आई कैन, and then I don't know how long back, but along back I started to become quieter, better listener. तो सब लोग कुछ बोलते हैं, अच्छा लग रहा है तो सुन लो, नहीं ठीक लग रहा तो उठ जाओ या चुप बैठे रहो, पर जबरदस्ती कॉन्वर्सेशन में मत घुसो जस्ट बिकॉज यू वांट टू मेक अ पॉइंट। बट वो अंदर से जील होती है, इट्स अ कीड़ा कि नहीं मेरा भी पॉइंट है, मेरा भी पॉइंट सुन लो। बट किसको मैटर करता है? सबसे ज्यादा मैटर आपको खुद करता है। So remember, respect money, because if you don't, you're not going to get it as well. As simple as that.
Say also there is a misconception among students that they should take a break from college to like build their startup.
It's not a misconception. It is a big misconception.
So, is it even possible to manage this or not?
No, it's not to do with manage or anything. You know? कि startup is nothing else but running a business. एक थोड़ा सा फर्क होता है, like I have 2 startups that I'm building. तो startup is like you get 5 people together, make them co-founders. Somebody is good on tech, somebody is good on X, Y, Z. You have 4 minds who are thinking and running a business. But a startup alone is not a good idea. A few friends you must have read in so many articles, they started a business together and they made it very successful. घंटा successful, 1 साल में काम शुरू किया, अगले दिन वो 10 लाख रुपए PR में खर्चे उनका रोज, लिंक्डइन पे या कहीं पे वो आ गया कि उन्होंने ये अचीव कर लिया, वो अचीव कर लिया। कहीं पे लिख नहीं रहे कि प्रॉफिट कितना हो रहा है, क्या बिजनेस है, रेस कर लिए तो सेलिब्रेशन हो रही है, नया ऑफिस बन रहा है, ग्रेट कल्चर, अवार्ड्स मिल रहे हैं। घंटा किया नहीं बट अवार्ड मिल रहे हैं। किस बात के मिल रहे हैं? तो ना वो सेल्फ ग्रेटिफिकेशन है कि मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है, ईगो की अपनी सेल्फ पैम्परिंग है। तो स्टार्टअप इज अ ग्रेट आइडिया, बट आपको जल्दी क्या है? कहाँ भागते जा रहे हो? पहले पढ़ लिख लो यार, फिर कुछ काम कर लो कहीं 2-3 साल, फिर आगे पढ़ लिख लो, फिर कुछ शुरू करोगे तो आपके पास एक प्लस पॉइंट होगा, यू स्टार्ट विद सम एक्सपीरियंस। बट व्हेन यू स्टार्ट विद नो एक्सपीरियंस, एवरीबडी विल मेक मिस्टेक्स। आई मेड मिलियंस ऑफ देम एंड आई स्टिल मेक देम एवरी डे, बट एटलीस्ट अ लिटिल बिट आई नो अ लिटिल बिट बेटर टुडे than I knew in the past. So don't be misguided by all this bakwas that you see in the newspapers and Google and all that bakwas. If you have a great idea, you have to vet your idea with even your faculty here. Does it make sense? And it's okay if it doesn't make sense, because nonsensical ideas ज़्यादा आते हैं। वो ये कर सकता है तो मैं क्यों नहीं कर सकता, blah blah blah. So I think this is my belief. Study right now, finish your college, get a job, work in a good company where there's good culture, and learn. And when you're like 23, 24, go for higher education if you want to, or start to work with your family business. There's nothing wrong with it, because that comes with a lot of experience. And then if it makes sense, then you do something on your own. You do something, but first focus on your current. It may sound repetitive. Focus on your education that you're here to get. You've chosen to come here, study here, and then take one step at a time. That's what I can say.
Thank you, sir. Sir, like there are a lot of students in the audience who aspire to be an entrepreneur in the future. So what's gonna be your piece of advice for them? Like apart from education, what are the practices they should start doing in their graduation years itself?
Start working. Take a part-time job. College finishes at what time?
2 for morning and 6 for evening.
So 2 for morning. And then what do? Let me ask someone. What do you do? The girl with the specs on her head. After college.
I go home, then I help with my mom, and my brother is in school right now, so I help him with his homework.
Okay.
Then in the evening, I go with my friend for a walk to the park. It's right in front of my house, so I do that. Then at night, I help my father. He's a businessman, so sometimes he requires some help with his computer work or something, so I help him in that. And then I sleep because the work comes over.
No, fair enough. Anybody else wants to share? I picked on you. What about you, Sparsh?
I'm from India.
You're from evening batch. So what do you do the whole day?
Then after 11 in college, and after that 6 p.m. I go at home and take some rest. After that I go for my classes.
अरे रेस्ट तो हर बार हो जाएगा भाई, रेस्ट करके नहीं करोगे.
Classes after.
So I tell you what I did, and it may be different. For whatever time I went to college, at 2 o'clock, I used to head to my office and started to learn and started working. Because I felt going to that Kamla Nagar market and having chola bhatura, कितना कर लोगे यार हफ्ते में? कितने खा लोगे? कितनी चाट खा लोगे? कितनी मैगी तोड़ लोगे? I inspired also, I think close to 7 or 10 of my friends. All of us started to work something, and we used our time. I have a habit: use all the time that you have in your current life with doing something productive. Okay, you can chill. I'm sure everybody watches Netflix, Amazon, Z, whatever. Fine. Everybody should do that. You need something for your time as well. But if you can pick up a part-time job while you're studying, because interacting with customers, interacting with people, skills, that will help your learning. Not just for filling up your bloody resume कि मैंने यहाँ पे काम किया था जी, फिर आप एक सर्टिफिकेट दे दो, ये सब तो fraud है. But if you can, even like you're helping your dad, which is a good thing, help your family, and just pick up experience. While you're studying, if you can pick up some experience, I think most of you I look like lazy, kind of. No, maybe I'm being unfair to you, but you have all your life, and today's time will help you in tomorrow. So if you can find something to do part-time close by to where you live. I mean, India it's not very normal, but abroad, I have nephews who are just visiting from the US. After I think even school level in 11th or 12th grade, they used to work in like the McDonald's and blah blah blah. And I think these guys also started offering, all these eating joints have started offering part-time. 1 hour, 2 hours, they started paying 2 hours a day, 3 hours. Pick up a job, कोई lowly job नहीं होता, job तो job होता है. So if you can, use your time in reading, learning, and better is to take up a part-time job even if it's for a few weeks. आप सबका अभी कॉलेज कब खत्म होता है?
It's true for evening. It's true for morning and.
नहीं मतलब you have internship break, no, right now? Break?
So we get it in 4th sem, I guess.
Okay. So chill मत करना भाई, कुछ काम कर लेना. I'm sure अनुज जी यहाँ पे काफी सारे internships opportunities आती होंगी.
Yeah.
You should mandate to all your kids to do internship and meaningful ones.
Sir, I want you to know about your retirement plans.
Never fucking retire, dude. It's like saying कि अभी मैं थक गया हूँ, थोड़ी देर रेस्ट कर लेता हूँ, तो ऊपर जाके जब मर जाओगे तो तब रेस्ट ही रेस्ट है भाई. इससे पहले रिटायर करके क्या करोगे?
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Please.
So you said you read a lot. Do you
Yes.
have any recommendations that every teenager should read? Some books for productivity and mind management.
No, I think you will be able to understand books when you have experience, right? So don't get me wrong. Okay, right now you need to get experience. You need to read about inspirational stories of people who build companies. So you can read things like the ones which built Instagram, or the other Indian startup, or not startup, the older companies. But वो ना आपको अभी absorb नहीं हो पाएगा, because मुझे भी नहीं होता था. जब तक आप खुद नहीं कुछ कर लोगे, तो पढ़ोगे, समझ ही नहीं आएगी, तो बोरिंग लगेगा. तो अभी ये जो भगवान ने आपको किताबें दी हैं स्कूल की या कॉलेज की, उनको पढ़ के उनको एक्सेल कर लो एंड देन यू स्टार्ट रीडिंग. अभी तो रीड योर लव स्टोरीज एंड ब्यूटीफुल इंस्टा स्टोरीज एंड रील्स एंड I love this Joginder, Thara Bhai Joginder. I don't know if you guys have seen. My son makes me watch it and I love it. And it's okay, you can start. But वो calling अपने आप आएगी. हर चीज की calling अपने आप ऐसे नहीं आती. अभी तो आपकी ये boring जो college का सब कुछ है वही पढ़ लो. उसमें अच्छा कर लो. उसके बाद फिर you can look at the next steps.
Sir, thank you for such an insightful session. Thank you very much. Now, I think I'm going to
Just work hard and study. Give respect to your college for what they do for you, and be honest. Dost, no more lying. Be honest. कोई फायदा नहीं है बक बक करके. Just do what you are here to do.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you for being with us, all of you. I hope all the words that you have said to us today will be fruitful. Will be fruitful for all of us here. And I would like to thank our director, sir, as well. Thank you for being here with us throughout this session, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, director, sir, please come up here to welcome our speaker with the green initiative. Sorry, sir. It's a moment.
Green तो हो गया भाई.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Great, sir. I
Thank
think
you very
words
much.
of wisdom.
A huge round of applause.